The Maldives' world-class resorts invite visitors to bask in the sun, the sand and sea. But beyond hotel shores lies a country brimming with cultural traditions, culinary secrets, and an unrivaled underwater kingdom. Reconnect with this island nation through diving, deep-sea fishing, and dance, and meet the people who make the Maldives more than just a picture-perfect place. The Maldives is an ocean nation. 99% of the country's surface is covered by water, water that harbours some of the world's richest marine biodiversity. Over 1,000 different fish species inhabit this patch of the Indian Ocean, occasionally in significant numbers.
Here in the Maldives, we have the biggest population of manta rays that's ever been recorded in the world. They've got around 5,100 individuals in the database. So yeah, we're very, very special to have such a large population.
Beth Faulkner leads a team of researchers at the Manta Trust, a conservation charity. 6 days a week for over half the year, this group heads out to a UNESCO-protected bay in hopes of finding mantas to study. And surprisingly, this weather is the weather they want.
In the rainy season, you get plankton trapped in the closed end of the bay, and then the mantas will then come to feed on this plankton that's trapped there. It really depends on the currents and the winds, so we need them to be perfect. I don't see any mantas.
I can see them in the shallows.
Oh yeah, there are some in the shallows. So we've just arrived Tanifro Bay. You can see the mantas here on the surface already. So they're already feeding, which is great for us.
As soon as the team spots their subjects, it's time for a closer look.
Manta rays are really majestic creatures. They're known as gentle giants, so they have no sting, no teeth, nothing they can do to hurt humans. When you get a close interaction, you can understand how intelligent they are, knowing that they're choosing to come towards you and spend that time with you is just incredible.
These reef manta rays, which feed on the surrounding particle-like plankton, can reach 4 meters in width and weigh up to 700 kilos. Today, they're considered a vulnerable species, with the global population decreasing, mainly due to habitat degradation.
I've been working with mantas since 2017, and you get to spend a lot of time with the same mantas, and you start to learn that some of them are very bold, they'll swim around you very close, and you get others that are very shy. So I definitely believe that they all have different personalities. This is something that hopefully people will look into in the future.
For now, Beth's team collects data on their population size, behavioural habits and reproduction. They also photograph identification markers. Much like human fingerprints, each manta has unique spot patterns.
Manta rays have only been studied for just over a decade. In scientific terms, that's not that long. There's still so many questions that we don't know the answers to. And you can't persuade people to protect something that they don't know that much about. Yesterday, I got 89 IDs yesterday, and it was nothing like today.
Okay.
So far, the team's work has helped lead to legal habitat protection for mantas and their inclusion on the Maldivian National Protected Species list. But Beth says there's still much to be done.
I think manta rays will always have a special place in my heart. So if we don't take steps to protect them now, they're not going to be here for much longer in order for other generations to see. And the encounters that I have, I would love as many people to have those as possible. Cubby, I think we can go.
Beth's team is based in the northwestern part of the country at the Four Seasons Landa Giravaru. This resort also partners with a coral conservation group called Reefscapers.
We're a firm believer that grassroots initiatives such as ours are vital. We are not providing a solution, we are simply providing life support.
That life support is sustained through coral reef restoration, and it starts by collecting fragments from coral colonies. In 1998, the first global coral bleaching event destroyed about 16% of reefs worldwide. Simon says this is becoming a regular phenomenon, and it's partially why he pursued this career.
I did a lot of work as a dive instructor in the dive industry, and I think it's that amount of time I spent on the coral reefs, seeing their gradual decline. Once the restoration practices became more commonplace, it was something for me that was a very natural fit, and something where I feel that you can make a real difference at a grassroots level.
Back on land, the restoration process continues by creating a unique identification number, which is then attached to a metal frame.
The LG signifies Landa Giravaru, the island that we're on, and then this is frame number 4625. And this number is how we find this particular frame when it comes to monitoring in our mapping software.
From there, coral fragments are attached to the frame, which will asexually reproduce.
I think one of the advantages of doing it this way is that it is so simple, but it also provides us with a really good base to learn more about coral, about how they survive, how they deal with these bleaching events.
We are one of the largest coral propagation facilities of our type in the world. We've outplanted over 500,000 pieces of coral over the 20 years that we've been here in the Maldives.
Resort guests can also help build these frames and monitor their progress after they leave. That's because Simon's team checks in on each one every 6 months and posts pictures online. These images are also analysed by artificial intelligence software to help make long-term decisions like where to place the frames.
And when you visit an area where there was very little coral reef and you have actively spent a lot of time placing those frames, to then revisit maybe a year and a half later and to see that thriving ecosystem full of fish and really healthy coral, it's a fantastic feeling, it really is.
The Maldives is made up of more than 1,000 islands, but over a third of the population lives here in Malé. The nation's capital sits on just 2 square kilometers, making it one of the densest urban areas on Earth.
You can't walk on a street where you don't hear all these cars, beeps and things. When you go in the ocean, you are in a very, very peaceful environment. I go maybe 3 times, 4 times a day, but every day I go there, I see something new. I discover something new. I feel that's a better and a safer place for me than the land sometimes.
Zuna Nassim is the Maldives' first woman to be certified as a course director by the Professional Association of Diving Instructors. Only around 1,000 people have achieved this status worldwide. For over 18 years, she worked as an instructor in hotels across the country, but eventually she found a different calling, opening this dive centre 10 minutes away from Malé.
Surprisingly, even 16, 17-year-olds, they've never been to the ocean. That was something really sad that I heard. Having the ocean around us, they have not been in the ocean. It's just not so right. Okay, good morning everyone. Are we ready for the next lesson? Yes, right?
Zuna's centre primarily serves women and children. About 24 students, as young as 8, enroll for diving courses here at any given time.
Okay, how do you signal? Okay? Excellent. Air depletion exercise, I'm going to close your tanks today. We have a purpose here. The purpose is to make more people love the ocean. If you don't go into the ocean, you don't love it and you don't know why it is important to protect it. If you see something special, you can always share it. So how many of you know the signal for a lionfish? Yes. A turtle? Eel, yes, very good.
Zuna believes people, especially parents with small kids, often avoid the water due to fear.
I mean, parents' view about the ocean has to change. They are thinking the ocean is a dangerous place, you will be eaten by the sharks. Very good. And you can also make sure that you can deflate your BCDs. You have to consider that ocean is a safe place, and if you do with the right training, go with the right procedures, it can be an extremely safe place for children. Are we ready to go? Yes. Okay, just be careful when you stand up, okay? When you take somebody new for the first time in the water, that is probably my favorite dive. I believe we are opening a very new door to them, something they have never seen before, a new adventure begins for them.
Zuna estimates that she certified about 2,500 divers, the majority of which were under the age of 18.
I believe that ocean should be the kids' playground. During the young age, they don't have the fear factor. A young age is a very good age to introduce the ocean.
Zuna hopes some of these kids will become dive instructors. She says it's one of the tourism industry's most well-paid professions. But even more important is nurturing a connection to nature.
Ali, what was the best thing you saw today from your dive?
Eels.
Eels. Do you like eels?
Yeah.
Most people are afraid of eels. Are they harmful?
No.
The best thing about diving is diving together. Just joking, it's about the fish you see.
Do you like Why do you like that?
I love the environment.
Zuna has been fostering this love here for 5 years. But very soon she hopes to spread her message by opening a mobile dive centre, reaching as many Maldivians as possible. The Maldives is just as bustling above ground as it is below sea, thanks to a centuries-old tradition called Bodu Baru.
Bodu means big, Beru means drums. So it's literally saying big drums. I've learned from our grandparents that it was brought to Maldives by Africans actually. Our neighbor country Sri Lanka and many people from different countries.
Aishath Hishma is a founding member of this Bodu Baru group called Faimini. Like most troops, they perform at religious festivals, celebrations, and community gatherings. But one major difference sets Faimini apart.
Usually men perform Bodu Baru, but we are the only female performing as a group in Malé.
The group regularly rehearses here in the capital.
So we are gonna practice a new song today.
I love the practice because I get to spend more time to get to know the girls. The girls are the best. We are more than just members. Actually, we are very good friends.
They formed Faimini back in 2014 to celebrate Women's Day. Since the group's inception, recruiting members has been one of the biggest challenges.
It was very difficult to find more girls actually for our group because their parents might have a problem. They don't want to send the girls to perform because of what society thinks about them. Since the beginning till now, finding members is very difficult, but we don't give up. We are trying all the time.
That persistence, combined with these practices, have paid off.
This, and then we'll take a turn, and then just continue. Okay.
Faimini often travels around the country to perform at resorts and festivals. Pre-COVID, the group also played international shows, the pinnacle being a trip to the United Nations in New York.
We were the first Maldivians to perform Bodoberu in UN. That was a really big achievement for us. Felt like a really big responsibility. I still can't believe it because it was really good.
Aishath works full-time in marketing. She joined the group out of curiosity, wanting to try something new.
When I first came to the group, I didn't know if I can do it. Then I just tried, and it makes you forget about everything else and just enjoy.
Maldivian waters aren't just a sight to behold, they're also the most important source of food. But if fish is at the core of this cuisine, then local traditions are the secret ingredient.
You get to touch people's heart using food. As an individual, you have great responsibility about the culture and making sure that it is passed down to the generations. So now it's my time that I take our cuisine seriously.
Chef Mohammed Adil is doing just that in Degali, a resort in the Ra Atoll where he oversees 5 different restaurants.
Hi Saifa, how are you?
His menus often include traditional recipes which rely on the local environment.
Almost everything is made with tuna. We don't have chicken, we don't have beef. What we have is tuna, so I think without them it will not be Maldivian cuisine.
The quest for this quintessential ingredient starts around 2 a.m.
Hamid!
on fishing vessels that then travel 3 hours out to sea. This is pole and line fishing. It's one of the most sustainable ways to fish because just one fish is caught at a time, as opposed to the commercial use of nets, which causes significant bycatch. Despite spending a decade cooking with tuna, Chef Adil has never seen pole and line fishing firsthand, which may be surprising because it's a Maldivian tradition.
Algonda family ga kaira algonda ga kaaba fainge irussure kaambon kura masakkada kam mikurani masverikam.
Hamid's role for the day is to scatter live bait fish. This, combined with water sprayed from the back of the boat, creates the illusion of a school of fish swimming along the surface, teasing the tuna to bite.
Den kadumatiga hafta paaru den මාබඩ ඉහසස්තක නොහරද අත්තා සිංගින්නනේ මිකම වාතිවේ බොඩ මිකමුග තෙරේග උල හිවණි දැන්.
In the Maldives, pole and line fishing dates back centuries. Some even believe it originated here. Hamid has been fishing with this group, which includes his father and grandfather, for 10 years. But Mohammed has never given pole and line fishing a try.
At first it was quite scary for me because there were too many people, so I got scared that if I might hit somebody. Now I know how much effort it goes, and I just caught 2. And I can only imagine how much effort they must be putting. It is not easy.
This group will usually come out to sea for a week at a time. Today they hauled in about 2 tons, and after descaling their catch, they sell it to nearby resorts.
It was really a good time, yeah? See ya. Okay. If I have a fresh tuna, I would like people to see that how fresh it is, and so that's where my inspiration begins. You can see how fresh they are. Still the eyes are very bloody and shiny. So what we are going to make is kandukukuru. It literally means chicken of the ocean, and there's a thin slice of tuna, and it is marinated with the spice blend. This is black peppercorn, some cinnamon, and this is fenugreek. I've heard that it's not an ingredient which is very popular, but some people do it, and this is something I learned from my grandmom.
Mohammed has been working his way up through the restaurant industry for 10 years. He's cooked at several hotels across the country, experience that's helped hone his skills, but also given him a new perspective on Maldivian fare.
Even though we have many resorts in the Maldives, very few highlights on the Maldivian cuisine, I think we Maldivians have to take the blame on that. When you are a Maldivian, I think it becomes your responsibility to showcase what your grandparents had passed down to you, and it becomes your responsibility to give that experience. How are you doing today?
Mohammed hopes to bring more recognition to Maldivian cuisine by travelling the nation to learn about regional recipes and then featuring them back here.
Okay, thank you.
As we've seen in our journey across the country, he's not alone in reconnecting with tradition.
We always try to learn, and we always want to improve.
The passion these men and women have fuels a lifelong dedication to their surroundings.
I'm passionate about the ocean. No reef can be a boring reef. In 26 years, I'm still not bored in doing what I'm doing.
Perhaps the only thing more important to them than this local culture is inviting everyone else to connect with it too.
If you can come and swim with mantas, do it, and it will completely change anyone's view on the ocean and the animals that live within it.